We gave you a little bit of a sneak peek of the Harry S. Truman Coin Chronicles set with the window box, and now we're going to delve right into it. Tell us all about it. Number one, we got to talk about the price break on here. What's the story there? I mean, that's pretty dramatic, from $1,300
well, you know, sometimes
down to
$500. It's a commodity, you know, and it's sometimes this kind of, you know, kind of blended into the woodwork, I guess.
We'll take it.
So I want to talk about it. I want to talk about how you can save $800.
Yes.
And if we go back to 2015, when I introduced this coin, it was one of the single fastest selling coins we have ever done in the history of HSN. I sold it out instantaneously at about this $499 price point. Then we had to restock, and we took this all the way to $1,299 and sold literally hundreds of these coins at $1,299.95. Let me explain to you the history of this coin and why we sold it at that, and why I have got the price break, but only for the coins that I have got left, because these are the original first day of issue coins from 2015 that I had originally from that time. The United States government has been making the presidential dollars, these special golden dollars, since 2007. Okay, that was the very first presidential dollar. And somewhere back in the middle of that, they started making these things that are called coin and chronicle sets. And they took a presidential dollar and a 1-ounce silver medal and a stamp, usually, and they put them in these little things, and they sold them in these presidential dollars, and I think they sold them for $55 or $60 or something along that, because there was an ounce of silver in here with an original era stamp and everything with that, and they sold those, and they were somewhat popular. Well, in 2015, for the first coin in 2015, they took the Harry S. Truman. And without telling anybody, they just didn't put in a regular presidential dollar. What they did is they put in a reverse proof presidential dollar. That's what that RP stands for. That is a special finish that is done by the United States government expressly and exclusively for presentation coins. There is a reverse proof American Silver Eagle. That was reverse proof American Silver Eagle. Some of those, like the 2011 reverse proof, they did 100,000 of those. We sold that coin for about $1,299. Well, this is the first time they did it in a presidential dollar. And they didn't make 100,000 of them. They made 17,000 coins. It is the single rarest reverse proof coin ever made by the United States government, and it only comes in this set. So you can see why this was wildly, vastly, incredibly, and amazingly popular in 2015, and why the price accelerated on an incredibly rapid basis. And why, for years, the best we could do was $1,299. Well, we fast forward 3 years, and people, to some degree, in essence, this coin is every bit as rare, every bit as collectible, every bit as desirable, every bit as historic of being the first reverse proof presidential dollar, the rarest of all reverse proof coins. The United States government's only done about half a dozen reverse proof coins in their history, and this is the rarest of them all. There's one that's tied. They did the coin after this, the Dwight David Eisenhower, in reverse proof. In an RP 70, that coin will bring every bit of $4,000. That's why this one, even at $1,299, was such an amazing seller. But now we're able to, for the final quantity that I have here, that I have got in stock, because even I couldn't buy these, go out and even buy these in the marketplace and be able to do them at $499. We are $800 off. That may be a record for us, $800 off. Because you not only get the reverse proof Truman coin that you're going to have here. This special coin, it's unlike any of the other presidential dollars. All of the other Truman dollars are either proof coins or mint state coins or satin finish coins. This coin is the special reverse proof coin that only comes out of here, and there's only 17,000. Understand, the rarest American Silver Eagle $1 coin is the 1995 W, and they made 31,000 of that coin. And that coin in this condition sells for $30,000. This coin almost twice as rare, not 30,000, $499. You also get the Mint State 70 solid silver Harry Truman medallion that comes with this, that came in the set as well. And it comes, and it's labeled also out of the set. And keep in mind, they only did 17,000 of these because it only came in the set, and it's certified out of the set. We are also going to give you all of the original government packaging because we had this originally, and it comes with the original Harry Truman stamp as well. So you get to be a numismatist and a philatelist.
Yes.
Okay, so you have that as well. So you're going to get that included in here. We still put the entire thing, even though we took $800 off, we are still going to present this to you in the incredible window box. So that when you get this, I'm going to put these in here for just a second, they go just like this. Isn't this spectacular? How about that for a presentation? Now, when we take $800 off, it would be quite easy for us to just take away the packaging, okay? That you shouldn't have the opportunity to do this. But you're going to have the packaging that you're going to have right here. This is out of the Coin and Chronicles set. It is the only way to get this set. And, of course, they were sold out in 2015 when these originally sold out. I think because everybody, the United States Mint didn't announce the reverse proof until just before sale. I think it's sold out in 3.5 minutes, crashed the U.S. website. I mean, they literally had to redesign the United States website based on this coin, the response to this coin. I think they took orders for somewhere around 1 million sets, and there were 17,000. So those people that are still on the waiting list, you're not going to get your coin, okay? You know, if you're 996,000 in there, you're just not going to get it. So the rarity of this coin unprecedented. Now, of those 17,000 coins, they don't all grade perfect 70. Now, so in perfect 70, it's not just reverse proof. It's not just the rarest reverse proof. It's not just the first reverse proof in the Presidential Dollar Series, but it's also the highest grade. So now all of a sudden, in ANACS first day of issue that you have right here, you are now looking at something that isn't, you know, 17,000. You're not even looking at 1,700. You're talking about a population of these coins that's going to be fewer than 1,000 coins that are going to be perfect. So now you have rarity upon rarity upon rarity upon rarity, and what that gives you is extraordinarily and extreme collectability at an $800 savings. Now is the time to get this absolutely historic coin, once again, in reverse proof, this presentation coin that only came out of this set at a special $800 off pricing.
Well, with the item number being 443789, we want to thank all of you